the entire gallery ecosystem really relies, especially, the bigger the gallery is, on this idea of people really, really being very eager and wanting to join. And of course you should want to join the ecosystem, but there becomes a point where, like you say, the power dynamic shifts. We were speaking about this earlier. There is a very well-known, and shout out to Meg Malloy of the Working Arts Club for pointing this out, because otherwise I wouldn't have heard of this, a very well-known, and I'll say it, the Courtauld has put out a call for a assistant curator job for £38,000 a year, which is well paid, but they are asking for a PhD candidate. And so what they're not allowed to say, obviously, we want someone posh, rich, someone who, won't mind if the pay is quite low. But what they are saying is, we want someone who has put in several £1,000s and several years of their life into studying the art market, art history or whatever. And I think that there's a very significant part of the gallery and artistic institution ecosystem that is comfortable getting away with that. So it's nice, A, to have things like the Working Arts Club that are talking about this, but also people like you who are trying to kind of create a more sort of like accessible way in.
Yeah, it's interesting because I hear these stories and I know that they're happening, but luckily enough, I've never actually had to experience those situations. I know they're very much a thing in the art world, and is why I do a lot of the content that I do, is why I write the way I do, is why I create videos in the way I do. But I personally, from having a lack of access to maybe a trust fund, having arts education, I didn't go to private school. I came from a very small rural Scottish area. So my motivation came out of this kind of lack of maybe access into the art world. I'm not saying I'm underprivileged. I'm not saying, I'm a white gay man in the arts. It's not a bad position to be in.
Yeah, it's got its pros.
But I'm kind of now looking at it where, because of those initial setbacks, they've now put me in a much greater position where, because I had to potentially, I had to lie about my age. I had to sometimes just convince myself that I could do the job, even if I didn't know I could. And most times I would. And that alone has put me far ahead than I think I ever would have had I went to an internship at Sotheby's or Christie's, for example.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I think when you're taught the institution, you follow the institution, right? If you're doing one of the courses at these big auction houses, you're saying, okay, then I want to start working as an intern in there, and then I want to move up to this role. And that whole structure has princesses and princes at the top, and then free interns at the bottom who are on insane amounts of money externally. And it's how are we meant to hit this world coming from a background like I have, which didn't have an arts family, didn't have an arts background, didn't have an art collection, didn't have private school? How can I compete with that? And to be honest, I felt I couldn't, so I just got to do it my own way.
Yeah.
And now I'm in a position where I feel that's worked. And I'm not saying that will work for everyone, because of course it matters on various things, but it's been interesting.